you beautiful bastards. Welcome back to Two Useless Organisms. My name is Tommy with the other host, Tristan. And let's just jump into it.
Welcome to Two Useless Organisms, a silly topical show where two useless organisms discuss today's hot topics, drink each other's philosophy juice, and read the internet's most unbelievable Yelp reviews. On today's show, we will discuss karma and if we'd rather work for a lot of money or not work for less. I think that's what it was. I don't know. I might have mixed up. Keep in mind that Two Useless Organisms is not safe for work, so Taylor Swift balls.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Did you go to the Eras tour?
did I? No. Did you?
I did not. My girlfriend and a bunch of other people I knew did, though. And, seeing all the videos of that show, I'm like, I don't really listen to Taylor Swift. Like, I don't like, I like her music when it comes on, but I don't regularly listen to her. The show was pretty fun. I'm very happy for everyone that went.
Tommy, your microphone is having an absolute shit fit right now. I don't know.
A shit fit. What do
It
you
was
mean?
like cutting in and out, and then when you said the word fun, it just said fun, like over and
That's
over
funny.
again.
That's pretty funny.
It was
Funny.
wild.
Cool. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. Zoom says we're still recording. Slay. But no. If you got to enjoy and cry at the Eras tour, I'm happy for you, man. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
the only thing I pulled away from the Taylor Swift tour is that it basically screwed up and shut down any city it went to because well, one, I know, Tommy, where me and you work, it's a very large place with lots of
Yeah.
employees, and I know many of them called out or didn't show up to work the next day because
Oh yeah.
getting back from Tampa was
Yeah.
crazy. And then
Oh
when I
yeah.
was in I think I was in Minnesota. Yeah, when I was in Minneapolis, I was asking one of my Uber drivers about it, and it just shuts down every city it goes to. It just screws everything up.
Oh damn.
How can
Yeah,
something
no.
be so popular?
No, I mean, no, I think my girlfriend, like, it's only like an hour drive to Tampa for us, but I think that ended up taking 4 hours because of the traffic.
Oh,
Yeah. So
it's just, it was, what was weird to me was like, okay, so you have your old musicians, like take Aerosmith, they're doing their farewell tour this year, like their fifth farewell tour or whatever. So you
mhm.
have these old bands that always do their farewell tour and it always pulls a large crowd. But then you have Taylor Swift come out, who's nowhere near the end of her career. And she puts out a concert tour called the Eras Tour, and it just goes through everything, and people go fucking nuts for it. Like it's
Yeah.
the greatest thing that ever happens. Like,
Yeah,
what?
like selling out stadiums of 70,000 plus, like, and she'll do them, more than one day in the same city, and they sell out every day, which, like, I want to see a documentary about this tour. Like, I'm looking forward to the documentary that comes out about this tour.
Oh man, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I mean, Taylor Swift's great and everything, but I don't listen to pop music, so like to me, it's
No,
just another pop star. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but um, it's been a little bit of a delay since our last episode. Things have been crazy for me, as they always seem to be. Every episode we do, I always end up having some excuse. But I'm in the middle of moving right now. If our visual listeners can't tell, I'm in a new environment. I'm actually staying with my friend and current landlord George in his guest room. Also, former coworker and roommate George. Um, Me and George go way back, but I'm in his guest room right now while I'm in between houses. So thank you for your hospitality, George.
Thank you,
Um,
George.
Other comment I wanted to put out here is I got some feedback from our last episode when we were talking about if Christ was resurrected today, what he would think of certain things. And my good friend Trevor, also known as the Big Gay, uh,
Oh, the big gay. I
the
miss
Big
that dude.
Gay, who was a guest on Three Guys Without the Wise, episode 10. Go back and check it out.
Good times.
Wants to see Jesus react to fleshlights.
Ugh.
Which is
Thank you, Trevor.
great.
Happy Pride Month.
Absolutely. I'll also say that Trevor is has been happily married to a woman for going on 4 years now. So
Calling
not in
himself the
fact a
big gay.
big gay.
Come on, Trevor. During Pride Month.
I know. What are you gonna do? But jumping on out of that and into my topic here, topic that I'm deeply passionate about because I love karma. I love knowing that karma goes to people who deserve it, which seems to so rarely happen. But that is my topic. Name a time you witnessed someone getting the karma they deserved. Um, Now I don't have too good a one. This isn't too juicy of one, but it is one I'm most passionate about. Traffic. I know on the show I've talked about crazy drivers and traffic many times. One time, this was back when I was living in Illinois. Not that busy of an area either, far away from Chicago, like kind of a smaller town. And I was driving, and you know how certain parking lots, when you go to pull into the parking lot, it's like a one-way turn into the parking lot. You know, it's not two
Mhm.
ways, cars aren't coming,
Yeah.
it's like curved and it's one way. Well, someone was trying to leave the parking lot the wrong way through this one lane, one way road. So they were driving out carelessly, and then someone was trying to go into the parking lot through the one lane, one way road, and they collided head on. And it wasn't very fast, but the guy who was driving the wrong
Yeah.
way just sat there and went, fuck, out his window because his window was open. I was like, that's exactly what you deserve, sir.
Yep.
It was so nice. The only other one was I think I was driving to or from Illinois from Florida on that crazy 19-hour drive. And I saw a guy driving like a maniac, which isn't rare anywhere, especially in the South. And
Mhm.
I actually saw a cop pull out and turn on their lights and pull him over. It's the only time in my whole
Ooh.
life I've seen someone driving like a maniac and actually get pulled over. Because I can tell you in
Oh,
Florida,
nice.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You
No.
you can literally like hang your nutsack out the window with a gun, shooting kids in the face with the gun, not your nutsack.
And the cops
And
will be like, sorry, we have to go after gay people.
exactly. So it was just so nice to see. But Tommy, have you ever witnessed someone get some good karma, or have you ever received some karma?
You know, funny enough, my good karma story also comes in traffic. Um, I was in the left-hand lane. I was going respectable, probably 10 over the speed limit at least, maybe 15. Um, but there was a cop in the right-hand lane 10 yards ahead of me or so, so I wanted to make sure I didn't pass the cop. Like I was still going relatively fast, but the cop was in front of me. I didn't want to pass him. A guy, someone in the car behind me starts, riding my ass, like tailgating me in this lane, wanting to go past, but I'm like, and this is in North Carolina, so two-lane highways. Um, and I'm just thinking, yo, there's a cop right there. But then I found an opening for me to move over. So I'm like, there you go. I moved over. He sped past me. Sure enough, wee woo, wee woo. Motherfucker got pulled over. Um, but you just said an interesting comment. Have I ever received karma? And this is one that I talked about. I'm pretty sure I talked about this on the podcast that we did with Morgan.
Hmm.
Um, it was at a Universal Halloween Horror Nights. I very much deserve this. So, it was the very end of the night, and me and the person I was with, we were leaving the weekend house, and the way that the queues and exit queues work at Horror Nights are just insane, long and complicated in backstage areas, whatever. But the weekend house, it exited with the same exit as the Universal Monsters house, and that exit was right next to the Universal Monsters queue. Um, and this was almost 2 a.m., 5 minutes before the Horror Nights ended. We were leaving the weekend house, and there was like no line for Universal Monsters. And I'm just thinking, and granted, we were frequent Fear Pass holders. We've done that house before. We even did it earlier that day. I'm like, yo, maybe we should go under and sneak right into that house since there's only 5 minutes left of the park. It'll take us forever to get back around. So we were kind of debating on doing it, and I said, fuck it. And then we went under the rope, and then someone that works there that goes, I saw you guys go under, and now you can go back. Have a good night. And I'm like, I deserve
Oh.
that. I deserve that. I'm not going to defend my actions there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, if the worst I got was yelled at, I'm like, that's fine.
So I just spent a few moments thinking about if I've ever really gotten karma I deserve. And was speeding once and I got a speeding ticket, but that, who
Yeah,
hasn't?
yeah.
Other than that, I guess I can turn this into a lesson for those who might still be in school, whether it be high school or college. Um, I didn't dedicate myself to schoolwork and I got bad
Mm,
grades the whole time. And I really didn't care. Um, but my parents were generous enough when I went to college, they were going to pay for my entire college. Community college, mind you, but still. And then I started failing classes and they were like, "Nope, not anymore." Which rightfully so. Like they shouldn't be paying for their, crack addicted son to flunk his way through community college. So then I ended up having to pay my own community college. And it took me 4 years to get a 2 year degree. I took the same class like 3 times. Financial and managerial accounting sucks.
yep,
The
that sounds
worst
suck.
thing ever. So anyway, I guess that was my karma. Was I ended up having to spend thousands of dollars on my college that I wasn't going to have to do because I didn't dedicate myself to the schoolwork, which I knew I should have done. Like I knew better.
Yeah,
Mm, mm,
no, school's really tough, man. But
mm.
awesome that you're able to at least eventually get that degree.
Yeah, look at me now.
Heck yeah, me too. I
But
I got a 4-year degree in the same spot.
um, but yeah, man, karma, credit karma. You use credit karma?
Yeah. Credit. No, I think my credit card just gives me my FICO score every month.
Mm, I've got good credit karma, so that's a plus.
Credit Karma. That's like your credit score, right? That's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've had good credit score, although I've had a lot of credit card debt, so I've been afraid to check my score. I'm pretty sure it's still good, but I'm just like scared to look at it, and I definitely should.
That's another piece of karma I've had to
Yeah.
deal with. I uh
Mhm.
I wasn't financially smart last year. And at the end of the year I looked at all of my finances, everything I spent money on for the whole year, and it was scary. I ended up losing money. Like I lost money last year. And because of that I also developed some credit card debt from traveling all over the country like a moron all the time. And I think there were a solid 3 or 4 months where I was making pretty high interest payments on my credit card because I wasn't paying off the minimum balance in time. Um, be financially smart,
Yeah.
people.
Yep. I thought this segment we were going to talk about other people suffering karma, not us. What?
Yeah,
How dare you, Tristan?
it's kind of
Let's go
kind
back
of
to people
sad.
that suck. Okay, that aren't us.
Osama bin
Okay.
Laden was finally killed
Oh, dude, thank God.
in recent news.
What a good time.
Yeah,
What
so I
a
mean he got some karma, right?
yeah.
Um, what other celebrities have gotten? I feel like celebrities
Ooh,
never get their karma. Like look at Will Smith. He went up on stage and committed assault to Chris
yeah.
Rock. Literally struck him. Like he hit a human being and like didn't get anything.
I mean, former President Trump has been indicted twice, but he's still the leading Republican nominee for president.
Well, that's more of a reflection on our country. I hope our country, I
Yeah.
hope America gets the karma it deserves because
It
man,
we des we this country deserves it.
we elected Donald Trump as president, man. Like I'm not saying I hope there's a genocide in our country, but we might deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're trying to do a genocide on trans people right now, but that's the wrong one.
Yeah, exactly. Like what are
Yeah.
they? Come on. Come on.
No.
You know who needs to go?
Who needs
White
to go?
people.
Dude, for
White
real. Oh my
people.
God. Please. I
That's been
fucking
my
hate white
argument lately.
people.
If people are talking negatively about anyone else, like they're being racist towards any other race, I'll be like, you know who's shooting up schools right now? You know
White
who's going
people.
in with automatic assault rifles and like blowing 17 kids apart?
Straight white people.
Skinny white boys.
Yeah,
Like
correct. Yeah,
that's where you know what I'm saying? So like people are out here
correct.
saying that Mexicans are doing whatever Mexicans are doing. I have no idea what Mexicans are doing, but
Yeah. Do they
like
still
what?
hate Mexicans? I think they only hate gay people now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like their attention span is only they can only hate one group at a time. I mean, they
Yeah.
do hate the other groups, but like, you know, 2020, 2021, it was black people, now it's gay people, you know. They
Yeah.
they have to have a focus.
I just hope we get to the point where like it's actually like white people.
Yeah,
Like white people need to get some sense talked into them. I don't know. Anyway,
for
but
real.
that, see, I also believe on the other side of the coin, I also believe that that is technically racist. I do believe that if you were to judge any race by their racial characteristics negatively, say, oh, I hate white people. White people are always doing this. That's so bad. That is technically racist.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
So then if we are to live in a society where everybody is expected to not be racist and have, their heads on their shoulders, we can't be racist at all. Like we can't accept some forms of racism as if it's okay.
I think we can accept it towards white people though. They've been winning long enough.
Yeah, they have, but like what if we get to the point in the future where like there is a genocide against white people?
I mean, it doesn't have to be systemic, but we gotta be humbled a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I do agree you have to be humbled. I don't know.
Yeah.
Touchy subject.
Yeah.
But moral of the story, all white people should die
Correct.
and all men should die.
Correct.
That's my favorite argument.
Dude, for real.
Like, okay, if
We've
all
evo
men
we've
die,
we've evolved past the need for men. Like what?
what are you gonna do? Store a bunch of semen in like a fridge somewhere and then just repopulate that way? I give it 100
We're
years.
we're we're overpopulated.
I give
We
no, I
could
give it 100 years before humanity ends. If you kill all males, I give it 100 years before there is not a human being left on Earth, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But
yeah, it would not. No.
anyway, is someone moneying
Yeah,
us?
correct. Today's sponsor is George. If you are in a tight situation where you need to move, but you haven't have anything locked in yet, call our friend George, and he will take care of you in his guest room until you find a new place. Thank you, George, for sponsoring this week's episode of 2UO.
Can confirm. Can confirm.
Yep.
Much hospitality in this room. It really does. It feels like a cozy Airbnb. He's got it all done up. I would spin my camera around and show you all if I didn't have all my porn over here in this corner that you can't see right now. But thank you, George. All right.
Yep. Thank you, George.
uh Tommy, your topic is a fantastic one. Do you want to read it to us, please?
Yes. So the topic that my topic is, would you rather work? Would you rather not have to work at all, yet make $100,000 a year, or would you rather just still work regular full time and make $5 million a year?
So let me get another piece of criteria from you. Am I working the job that I'm working right now?
Yeah, you can work the job you're working right now.
Like the same.
Yeah.
Then because I like work and I like to be occupied, and I'm kind of afraid that I would become bored if I was not working and earning $100,000 a year. I would work my current job for $5 million.
Heck yeah.
Like, no hesitation. But on the other side of it, I also wish that I could retire like in 4 years. Because like
Dude, for real, man.
I do not want to work until I'm 65. That sounds horrible.
Absolutely.
No, man. Like the way life expectancy works, like I don't want to work a majority of my life. Maybe like
Yeah, no.
half at the most. Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I would work my current job for 5 mil. What would you do?
I mean, granted, now that I'm thinking about it, if you wanted to retire in like 4 years, you probably could work the $5 million a year for 4 years, and it'd probably be almost close to if you're just making 100,000 for the rest of your life. Um, I need to do the math on that. But so I got the idea for this question because I heard the same question, but it was, would you rather do nothing for $250,000 or work full time for $1 million?
Mm,
So more for less work and less for more work. And when I read that question, I thought it was very easy to say 250,000 to not work
yeah.
because you can live very, very comfortably off of $250,000. 1 million isn't too much more than that. And like you can easily budget 250K a year and no problem. Um,
Yeah.
now to make it harder on myself, that's why I made it 100,000 to do nothing and 5 million to work. Because 5 million is a lot of fucking money, and 100,000 is still like twice as much as I'm making now. But um, even with it being twice as much as I'm making now, it's like, you are a little bit more constrained. Like like I did the math on it. So 100K a year, that's about 8,300 a month. So if you're paying rent, if I'm, being cheaper can be closer to 2,000, but just to do the whole thing, renting and housing, 3,000 a month, food, I just said 800 a month. I may have done too much. Cleaning supply, like I basically did a whole monthly budget, and after all the things that I need to pay for monthly, I'd be at about around 3,600 left a month to do whatever the fuck I want. Um, so could save, could potentially go on vacations. Um, but you would need to have a rainy day fund there. Um, so I think, especially since you also went the other way, I think I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna be 100K a year because kids these days just don't want to work anymore. It's too hot, and I just want to be in bed all the time watching TV, or just going on vacations and doing whatever the hell I want.
I do like that. When you broke down those numbers for me, I was like, dang, man, an extra 3,600 a month, right? Or
Not
a
do
week.
anything.
It was a month, right? An extra
A month.
$3,600 a month. Okay, so
A month.
good Lord. I mean, even if you, let's say you spent,
And let me break it down again. I
yeah,
put $3,000 for rent and housing, and that's, total housing. $800 for food, which honestly is probably a lot. $200 for cleaning supplies and toiletries. Put 250 for car insurance, $150 for a phone, $250 for streaming services, and that leaves you with 3,600 left a month.
I mean,
Uh,
wow. So you're living comfortably and you're putting
yeah,
away 3,600. So say you were spend 9 months of your year um putting that money into some sort of a savings account or whatever,
yeah.
whatever the hell you're doing. And then the other four, when I'm no mathematician, 3 months, you put that money away for a vacation. So what's 3,600 times three? That's got to be
3,600 times three. Over 3 months, that's $10,800.
10,000. You could take a $10,000 vacation every year
Yeah.
and still
Eh,
put a huge
multiple
majority of
times
your
a year.
money into saving. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
correct.
wow.
But to your point, you wanted to retire in 5 years, in what, 4 years.
Yeah.
So
When I'm
that would
31.
be $20 million. Let me divide that by 100,000. So 20 million, which is what you'd make in 4 years, divided by four, or divided by 100,000 is 200. So you would be making in 4 years working what I would be making in it would take me 200 years to get to that much. So honestly, your plan might be better than mine,
Yeah.
you know?
It always is.
It always is.
Hmm.
As long as you're budgeting it correctly. Not letting that 5 million get to your head. I just like to be lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because like I don't I would like to have a lot of money, but I don't want to have
Yeah.
a huge house. I would like to have a small
Correct.
house,
Yeah.
but a small nice
Absolutely.
house. So like I don't need to be loaded
Yeah.
to have my nice small house.
And making 5 million a year, you can easily fucking get
Oh,
a good house.
oh yeah.
On my budget, I'd still have to, it would still take me a few years at least. Like if I
Hmm.
have 3,600 at the end of every month and that's like not going out and doing vacation shit, like I would still have to save up a bit for a house.
Mm-hmm.
So fun
Oh
question,
man.
right?
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like dreaming. I like dreaming, Tommy.
Yeah, right.
I'll never get there.
What would it be like if I could actually have money? Like,
You know what you could do if you had a lot of money?
what?
You could put it towards the service that I'm about to read to you in this week's Yelp review.
Yelp review. Yelp review. Yeah!
Ooh, Segue.
And it is a good segue too. So this week's Yelp review is it wasn't actually found on Yelp. It was found on some sort of anonymous message board. I don't remember if it was that for anon or Q for Q8 QAnon, whatever it is. I have no idea, but one of those things. And
4chan?
yeah, sure. But so this isn't necessarily a product. It's more of a kind of a service, and it is Calvin Pickens Sky Palace, copyright Calvin Pickens.
Calvin Pickens.
So I'll jump on in. Religious cult alert. I have spent the last 14 years as a follower of an extremely corrupt and immoral religion, led by an insane, ego-obsessed man named Calvin Pickens. I am, of course, talking about Calvin Pickens Sky Palace, officially called Calvin Pickens Sky Palace, copyright Calvin Pickens. This cult was founded by entrepreneurial Calvin Pickens, a graduate of Indiana University. It was here that he found his entrepreneurial interest when he participated in a gangbang with Mark Cuban, who was buying stock over the phone at the same time. This inspired Calvin to change his career path from bowling industry management to becoming a business tycoon. If someone whimsically inventing a religion after changing career paths hasn't already disturbed you, let me fill you in on the details of this hogwash. Like any religious delusion, this one has a god figure, appropriately named Sky Captain. To its credit, Sky Captain is at least more interesting and clever than naming your god God, but unnerving nonetheless. If some of the mentally deranged readers of this are perhaps considering joining this terrible organization, get your credit cards ready because it's not free to follow. Sky Palace has a subscription-based tiered system, with higher-paying members getting better perks than the lowest status members. I spent 11 years moving up through the ranks from the bottom, and my last 3 in the highest tier possible. It hurts to revisit these terrible 4 chapters of my life, but I'll summarize the different tiers so you can all see what many people are paying for. The bottom tier is called Garbage, which costs $1,000 a year and requires you to donate a quart of blood to which Calvin is allowed to do whatever he wants with. The second lowest tier is Pleb, and that one costs $10,000 a year, and your body is automatically donated to Calvin at the time of your death. At this point, I'd like to add that Mr. Pickens' generous tier system allows you to have all the benefits of your current tier plus all inferior tiers, which means no matter how high a status you have, your corpse will always belong to Calvin, and he'll have a jug of your blood sitting around somewhere.
So wait, you're paying a lot of money for someone to just do shit with your organs and blood?
Does it not sound worth it?
Keep going. I'll make a decision at the end.
The next tier is the second highest of 4, and it's called Pedestrian. In this level, which costs $100,000 a year, 95% of your yearly income goes directly to Sky Palace. You may be wondering, how does someone pay $100,000 a year plus give 95% of their income to the organization? Well, a shocking amount of people existing in the higher tiers are politicians of this great country, so throwing money into a worthless pit is not unusual for them. As for the rest, most of them are executives of the organization itself, so Calvin is essentially giving them a shitload of money and letting them keep 5% of it, which if they play their cards right should cover the extra $100,000 a year. And now for the icing on the cake, the final tier, the boss level, the ultimate salvation. The highest status you can possibly achieve is preferable. For just $1 million a year, you can be the randomly lucky receiver of a trip to the Sky Palace at the time and location of Calvin's choosing. I was brainwashed to dedicate 11 years of my life to getting to this point, and it was only once I got there that I realized how fucked up it was. I had the goal to ask Calvin why the subscription prices were so outrageous, and to my surprise, he gave a rather pleasant and well-prepared answer. These funds are necessary because Sky Palace has very high maintenance costs, and leftover funds go directly into the followers' afterlife savings account. It took me 3 years at this level to orchestrate how to get out of it without facing Mr. Pickens' retribution, and I finally snuck out just a few months ago undetected. The one good thing that came out of all of it was meeting the love of my life, my wife Rebecca, when I was still in the garbage tier. Unfortunately, several years after our marriage, I woke up to Calvin putting on a puppet show with her severed head, which marked the end of my loyalty to Sky Palace. I will be living a quiet life in anonymity for the rest of my days, for Calvin Pickens is certainly doing everything in his power to find me and drain my body of all its blood or some horrible thing. Please, 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 I beg you, do not allow yourself to be brainwashed into some nonsensical cult that will use all your time, effort, and money only to feed their sick, twisted, and corrupt behavior. 0 out of 5 stars. Calvin Pickens, Sky Palace.
Okay.
So,
Well,
Tommy,
out of all the organizations we reviewed on this show, or that we've read reviews for, that was certainly one of them.
it is one of them. Tommy, if you were making your $5 million a year,
No.
It's funny. We're about to roll the credits, and for our visual watchers, the
Yeah, no,
credits for our
I
show.
like just saw the credits on your
I've literally had our show on the TV
Okay.
behind me this whole time. What tier would you be in, Tommy? Would you be in a
I
tier in Calvin
wouldn't.
Pickens Sky Palace?
I would no.
But all the
No.
money you put in goes into your afterlife savings account.
I don't join cults, I start cults.
That's a good quote. I like that. That was the best. I think that might be the most entertaining thing you've ever said on this entire show. I don't follow cults. I start cults. Thanks everyone for listening. Leave a rating on Apple Podcast and Spotify. You can leave a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. We'd appreciate that. Follow our social media, Facebook, Twitters, Instagrams, and support the show for as little as $3 a month. Click the link in our show notes to send us money. And we sure do appreciate it. Tommy, do you have anything to add?
No. Two useless organisms. Two useless organisms.
That's a good quote. Wow, we got to throw that on a t-shirt. Tune in next week to find out what Tommy's new cult is. God damn, look at that.
Yeah. Okay.